Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I purchased some of the new Hourglass releases, including the Vanish highlighting stick, one of the new eyeshadow palettes, and the fiber brow gel. And I'm like midway kind of through my makeup routine, and I thought, oh, let me play around with those things. And then I thought, well, why don't I just go ahead and film it, and we can kind of, you know, just hang out and play around with them together, and I can kind of give you my first impressions, thoughts. So if you're interested in seeing any of these things in action, then just keep on watching. So in my previous videos, not the Natasha Denona one, but the two videos previous to that, I didn't have any foundation on, and just because I wanted my skin to breathe a little bit. I had just taken a plane back from New York City. Anyway, you guys left some really sweet comments. You guys are the best, saying that my skin looked great or whatever. Anyway, I'm doing it again today because I'm having like a few little breakouts here. It's Sunday. I don't really have plans to go out. I went out late last night. Anyway, I thought, oh, I don't want to put on like a layer of foundation. I just kind of want to let my skin breathe. So I just wanted to give you that background, so as I'm putting this stuff on, you know that I just have actually some of the Hourglass ambient lighting powders on. It kind of, I don't know, it allows my skin to kind of look like I have something on because it has that blurring effect. With that said, I'm going to be using this cream highlighting stick over the Hourglass powders here because I really want to see how this works over powder. Many times, as much as I love cream products, many times I just forget to use them. I kind of go on autopilot. I put foundation, concealer, I powder my face or powder this area, and I'm like, ugh, I forgot to put cream product on, and I'm like, all right, forget it. I'll just move on and continue using powder. So a lot of my cream products, as much as I like them, kind of end up sitting there a lot longer than my powder products, and they go bad even faster. So I was really curious how the Hourglass, what is this actually called? The Flash Highlighting Stick, how it would work over powder. So I got one shade, Champagne Flash. Here's what the product actually looks like. It's really cool, sleek packaging. If you have the Vanish foundation stick from Hourglass, it's the same exact packaging except for the finish. This has like a chrome finish. Here is what the product looks like. Let me go ahead and just swatch it for you. There is Champagne Flash. Oh my god, excuse this nail too. I have gel polish on. I got it done before I went to New York because I just didn't want to worry about my nails. And this one, just like the whole thing just like peeled right off. So, and it's my middle finger. So anyway, I apologize. I really like the consistency. I think I mentioned this in the Natasha Denona video that I did last. I was using her cream products, and you know, I like cream products obviously that fall right in the middle. I don't like ones that are too powdery, and I don't like ones that are too emollient that never feel like they set down at all. And this kind of has that nice feeling. It's really in between. It doesn't feel too powdery, but it doesn't feel like too slick. On one cheek, what I'm going to do is like swipe, and then on the other cheek, what I'm going to do is actually just use my finger and see how that works. Let's go ahead and just swipe this where I would normally apply highlighter. Wow, look at that finish. I'm going to blend that in. And again, this is over some of the Hourglass ambient powder, and I don't feel like there's any sort of weird balling up or patchiness or anything strange going on. So that's nice. I like the finish this gives. It has just the slightest bit of like a wet look. Wow, that was really that was really easy. That was really nice, and that was with a direct swipe. But I'm gonna go ahead and just use my finger on this side and pat. I think I like just swiping directly on because this takes a while. This takes like a few times. So I'm gonna go back to just swiping and then blending in. That's pretty. I'm so glad I got this color. This seems to be like exactly what I wanted and what I would use. I wonder, a lot of times the question I get asked a lot, especially when I talk about highlighters, is whether or not I think that it would emphasize texture, and I don't happen to have any texture here. You know what, let's put some. I have some texture like between my eyebrows. Let's put it there just to see. I think this is subtle enough. I don't feel like it is actually emphasizing, like I don't know, they look like dry patches, although it doesn't feel like I have dry skin here. It's like that weird kind of texture that you get between your eyebrows and like around your eyebrows. I don't see any texture kind of coming out from there. But I still can't say for sure. You know, I do feel like texture on the cheeks can be very different, but I think that this is really nice. I really like this formula. Let's put some on my cupid's here. That is way too much. You know, I don't do this often. If you guys have watched me in the past, you know I feel like highlight there just looks like you have a runny nose. But for the sake of this video, I will do it. And then maybe some down the bridge of my nose here. I think this is great. So next I have the Arch Brow Volumizing Fiber Gel, and I got it in dark brunette. And then I also purchased one of the new eyeshadow palettes, Graphik Eyeshadow palettes, in the colorway Vista. So I really want to play around with these. The Hourglass eyeshadow palettes, they had them in very similar packaging to this, but all of the eyeshadows sort of like intermingled in one pan together and it had this like cool design. It looked absolutely beautiful, but because the shadows were so powdery, it just turned into this really horrible mess. And I liked the shadows, but they were kind of difficult to work with when they were all sort of like mixed in together. So what they've done with these eyeshadows is they've sort of like segged them out. Let's dig into the Fiber Brow Gel first. Should I do it after? No, let's do it first. Very indecisive this morning. So here's what the packaging looks like. It's very similar. I don't know if you have Hourglass. They have a stick concealer. It's very similar to this. Here is what the spoolie looks like. So the spoolie is asymmetric. One side of it has longer bristles and the other side has shorter bristles. I think you guys can see that. I appreciate a longer bristle spoolie because I have very long eyebrow hairs. And if the spoolie is too short, if the bristles on the spoolie are too short, then I feel like I'm just, I don't know, I'm not really doing much. And then I have to get in there and then I end up getting it actually on my skin. It's a whole mess. So on first glance, the gel of this seems a little bit wetter than the Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel, which I really like. But I'm going to go ahead and lightly start to feather that in. And I feel like I should zoom you guys in. Sorry, hang on one second. Okay, that's better. Oh, and you can see the highlighter better too. Okay, back to the brow gel. So I definitely see some fibers popping up in there. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's okay. I feel like the Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel has just sort of ruined me. It's my favorite, so obviously I'm going to compare everything to it. But this is, like I said, this one's wetter, and it doesn't seem to have as much like pomade power. And by that I mean just sort of like control of my hair. It also doesn't seem to be as fibrous as the Tom Ford, which I really like because even though I have really long eyebrow hairs, they're very sparse. So I need those fibers to fill in if I want to use this as my only eyebrow product. I don't think it'll be a substitute for my Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel, but it's not bad. Right, so on to the Graphik Hourglass eyeshadow palette. This is a Quint, a 5-pan palette. And if you guys follow me on Snapchat, you saw me swatch this. And if you're into swatches and unboxings and stuff, definitely follow me over on Snapchat. I will flash up here what my handle is. But here is what Vista looks like. So I don't see a color in here that I would normally start with. I kind of want something kind of just to like lay down or just to kind of start to add a little bit of dimension in my crease. I don't really see a color like that. This one is probably the closest, this one in the middle, but it's definitely much deeper than what I would normally go for. So I think I'm gonna do, I don't know, I think I'm just gonna go right into like a smoky look. Let's see how that turns out. So I'm gonna use my Tom Ford blending brush. I'm gonna go into this middle shade here. There are, I should mention, 2 matte shades. So this brown and this black, and then the rest are shimmery shades. These do not appear quite as powdery as the previous Hourglass, so I think they must have changed the formula as well. Well, that shade is blending nicely so far. I should also mention I don't have any eye primer down, so I just have concealer and some of that Hourglass ambient powder over it. I like that. I think they're blending out really nicely. I'm gonna go into this khaki kind of olive colored shade, and I'm gonna use my Sonia G Worker 1 brush, and I'm just gonna dip that in. This one seems a lot more powdery than the brown one. You can see that kick up there. And I'm gonna apply that to like the center part of my lid. That blended out really nicely as well. I think because this shade is so much darker than the brown, I should have guessed that by how it looked in the pan. I think I'm gonna bring that all the way out to the outer V. All right, and next I'm gonna go into this kind of shimmery golden shade here. I'm gonna use my Sonia G Builder 1 brush, and I'm gonna apply that to the inside of my lids here. I'm loving the pigmentation and the blendability of these eyeshadows. Really, really easy application. I'm gonna go back into this brown matte color. I'm gonna mix it in just a little bit with this lighter shimmery shade and use it to kind of blend out the top portion of my color here. Pretty. I think that blends out really, really nicely. I'm gonna go in with a pencil brush into this light shade here and see if I can highlight the inner corners of my eyes a little bit. I'm going to use that same pencil brush and go into this matte black color and line my eyes with that. All right, so I like the performance of these shadows very, very much. I think I created this look, as you guys saw, pretty easily. My only criticism is I do wish that there was maybe something between these two shades that was a matte, something that could help me blend out the top here, or maybe have made this one matte so that I could kind of use that to blend. I could use it to highlight my brow bone. But other than that, this is, as you saw, just completely from this palette. If I was going to be really high maintenance, I'd probably pull out another palette and do those things and use some shades maybe from the Viseart, the Grand Pro palette. Let me go ahead and give you some finger swatches so you can see what these colors look like kind of by themselves. I have to say, touching these shadows, they don't feel extremely creamy, silky, or soft. They actually feel a little gritty, but you know, again, I don't think you can always tell how a shadow will perform by these finger swatches, especially my really ugly ones. But those are the first three. That's weird. So the shadow names are only on this box. So the first one is Champagne Gold, Deep Olive, and then Rich Brown. Here are the last two. And those two are called Bronze and Black. So those are the 5 shades in the palette. So enough rambling. I hope you enjoy this video. From what I can tell so far, I'm loving this and I'm loving this. The brow gel, I think it's okay. I don't think it's great, but I definitely will follow up with you to see if it kind of dries out a little bit, because that's my issue with it, I think, at this moment, is that it's just a little too wet. And I really hate wet like mascara or brow stuff. I just feel like it's so messy and it gets everywhere. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Please let me know down below in the comments if you have any questions whatsoever. And don't forget to subscribe. Please, we are creeping up to 10,000 subscribers, and I'm getting a really awesome giveaway together for when I hit 10,000, and I'm really excited for that. So anyway, I'll see you in my next video.